This is a brief video, about 8 minutes in all, to share some tips on compiling a credit hour analysis using the template recently shared with College of Liberal Arts faculty. The purpose of the task is twofold. First, to demonstrate whether or not each course meets the 3-hour credit hour requirement of approximately 135 total hours of student effort across 5 weeks of work, and two, to provide a useful diagnostic when we redesign courses. To prepare for the analysis, you'll need several items as shown here. Most important will be administrative access to classrooms so you can pull information from courses and access textbooks, etc. You should have this already. Here also is a list of items that you'll want to discuss with the person who assigned this task to you, probably your program chair. Specifically, the template version to use and what legend they would like to apply will be important. In the first phase, in the page with the tab named Required Resources, we break down the readings and resources in the course and apply the relevant time estimates to each. In the second tab of the Excel spreadsheet, enter number of pages associated with the readings in the course, textbooks, articles, etc., and minutes of video or other resources in the correct column, and the time will be calculated automatically for each entry, which you can see happening on the right-hand side. In the case of a Constellation or required digital textbook, unless you're teaching this particular course, you won't be able to access it directly through the classroom. Your program chair can pull a PDF for you so that page regions can be extracted. Look carefully for any required videos in the course, as we need to find the runtime for each and enter that in minutes. Videos referenced in textbooks should not be included unless it's explicitly mentioned as a required media source. Recommended resources or readings don't need to be included in required resources. You'll see what those are each week if you're looking at the weekly modules, or the course guide, which is a handy way of referring to them, will also tell you which ones are required and which readings and resources are just recommended. In the Legend and Summary tab, I want to mention that the numbers in the upper left-hand blue box will be automatically generated from the underlying worksheets. You'll just want to double check at the end that they are done. In the Required Resources tab, where we're noting all the readings, you can see that in that middle group of columns, you simply enter the number of pages or number of minutes of a video, for example, and the time will be calculated to the right, and the sums for each week will also be added. Here I'm simply showing how the time will change according to the formula of the template that you're using, whether it's the standard legend, which is Ashford's standard calculation, or whether it's the College of Liberal Arts legend. Ask your program chair which one they prefer. The next phase involves the third tab in the workbook named Time by Activity. Here, for each week, note the time associated with each week's activities. The weekly summary of readings and resources should be copied into the row for each week named Required Media and Texts. You will notice that several activities common to most courses are already present with a time value filled in. For example, read announcements, ask your instructor, guidance review in each week, etc. Insert a row within a week if you need to add an activity such as a quiz or exam. Totals are automatically generated, and totals from these worksheets will show up on the first tab, Legend and Summary. Again, just double check that they're correct. The assignments each week will take some time. Roughly, each page of a multiple page assignment would be about 250 words a page. So if the assignment is a 500-word paper, count that as about 2 pages. The next phase is the most painstaking in that it involves copying the course learning outcomes, or CLOs, from the course into the spreadsheet, counting the number of times an activity in the course appears, applying the right time value to that, and dividing that value by the number of times it appears. It's a lot of cutting and pasting, but the formulas are already there if you want to use them. The course learning outcomes come from the course syllabus within the classroom. Grab the table from the page by copying and pasting, as I just did. A quick way to sort the activities by number of times it appears is to copy the last two columns in the table, copy it to a new sheet, and then just use data sort, and it will sort the activities by the number of times it appears so that you can extract that value without having to do that by hand. And you'll know the divisor to assign. Ultimately, the Time by Cielo worksheet will look like this, with the number of times each activity that's referenced by a course learning outcome appears, the number of hours that's assigned to that, and then what the value is when you divide that by the number of times that it appears. Again, these formulas are already present. You can cut and paste, insert rows, etc., and copy over the formulas pretty easily. Finally, submit this as requested by your program chair. You may be asked to transfer some of this information to a Word document that's a cover sheet associated with the course. Questions on procedures should first be directed to the chair, but if you have specific questions on the template, please don't hesitate to contact me. My information is there on this slide.